Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and this is Replay, Relive, and Reexperience, or as we like to call it, Re3s, where you guessed it, we do all three of those things to our favorite video game franchises. In this edition of Re3, we'll be replaying, reliving, and re-experiencing Telltale's The Wolf Among Us, based on the comic book series Fables, created and written by Bill Willingham, in anticipation for The Wolf Among Us 2. Here to uncover this Fabletown mystery with me, of course, as always, Detective Chris Trio.
Gooch, I tip my hat to you.
Thank you. And of course, our guest for this detective mystery. I mean, that wasn't that good, but we'll keep going.
Noir.
I tip my beanie.
Delaware County's own Joey Farrell.
In the flesh. You guys know me. You've seen me.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no more hype.
Yeah, there's no more.
One of the original Duck Hunter.
I actually have been reading the comments. They're sick of me. We haven't uploaded it yet, but I've been checking out the comments. They're done with me by now.
They really are. Yeah.
To that one guy who said that racist thing,
Yes.
get out of here.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to delete that. We can't.
Hitler was not good. He's a real knucklehead. All right, that's not all right.
Hopefully nobody comments that.
Anyway, let's shout out
Fingers crossed.
Speaking of fingers,
Perfect segue.
shout out to Fingers for the intro and outro. I don't think I said it last episode.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, gotta shout
Great
him
stuff.
out.
It's amazing.
Check him out on the links below.
Please
Spotify.
do.
He has a Bandcamp. Check his things out. Maybe purchase a thing or two from him.
Please.
Anyway,
Thank you, Fingers.
boys, we're here to discuss episode 4, In Sheep's Clothing, which released on May 28th, 2014. So the last episode came out April 8th. So we have like a month and like a couple weeks.
9 years.
Every episode is getting like shorter and shorter, which is interesting. You kind of think it would be like the opposite.
Yeah.
No, I guess. I guess that makes sense to me.
They're probably working on all of it concurrently. And
Yeah,
like, once
so,
you
like-
get all the like game dev side
they
stuff
iron
down,
out, they got their
It's
shit
probably
together
just getting
in
down
the
to
first two.
polishing a little bit more. Yeah.
And like even like character models and
For
stuff.
sure.
Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
So we pick up this episode, of course. Swinehart again. Bigby is fucked up.
Yeah.
The arm,
Just a nice compound fracture.
dude.
Yeah.
The fact that he's like picking it up,
Pulling it
and like
then resetting it.
I was hitting audible ooze.
Yeah, it was
Ew.
not good.
I was just like, oh man, I don't remember this at.
I didn't
all.
remember that part either. Yeah.
I think I tried to block that out.
I am.
Yeah, there is a, so they do talk about like the silver bullets like being his weakness.
Yeah.
And I think you get a codex for that, and I thought it was kind of interesting. So the legends of great and magical wolves often make mention of their weakness against weapons made of silver, and those tales bear out to be true. The silver bullet Mary shot Bigby with was not the first, but any of them could be his last. Any silver left in Bigby's body weakens his system, slows his healing, and causes long-term damage. So it is kind of interesting, and even like Swinehart says, it's like, yo, if that hit your heart, you would be fucking dead.
Yeah.
And it is like, you know, I think one thing we have been like hitting home, it's like, you know, what are the strength levels of these fables?
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny that he can just get shot in the heart with a
And he's
silver,
walking around the next
and he's
day.
dead.
Well, exactly.
He got his kryptonite.
It's as easy as that, and it's
For
like
sure.
pretty obvious, right? He's a fucking
He's a werewolf. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Lines up.
Makes a lot
Checks
of
out.
sense.
Yeah.
After he gets kind of put back together, Swinehart's like, all right, see ya.
One more time.
He'll
He's
be-
like,
he'll
hey,
be
can
good.
you
He'll
maybe
be good.
try not to do this again, even though I know you're going to? Yeah.
Wraps him up in like 2.3 seconds. Do you notice the cutscene where he like starts to wrap him and they turn away and they come back?
no.
He's like all like dressed. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, and then Snow's all bloody. But after that, Colin's in the room again. We haven't seen him since episode 1.
Colin.
And
I was very happy to see my boy back.
Yeah, and they're talking about really like, okay, like after this is huge.
Yeah.
Like this is so much bigger than just Crane.
And we would have thought.
The Crooked Man has some sort of fucking gang going on,
Yeah.
and like, you know, there's
Some type of organization.
He is entrenched deep within Fabletown and the things going on there and the illegal activity.
Yes. And I did appreciate how this episode really kind of hit the ground running, in my opinion. I feel like it kind of started and didn't stop.
This is my favorite episode.
I think so too, so
Yeah,
far.
I really
I would
like
agree.
four.
And I think that is a part of the fact that, you know, we kind of hit the climax, if you will. Like everything's on the table. We
Right,
know
yeah.
what's kind of happening.
And
now
they-
it's about finding the Crooked Man. And it's you know, you're off. What did you guys do with Colin at the beginning? Did you
I didn't answer him.
What, when he like asked, like, I told
I
him,
stayed silent.
I told him, I was like, Snow will change her mind. Like,
I was like, you'll stick around, Colin. It's fine. And he did make a good point to me, honestly, when he's like, I'm a fucking pig. No one's gonna be like, oh my god, look at that pig walking around. As
Yeah.
long as I don't talk, I'm fine.
I think it is just the idea that like they could be found out.
No, it's true. No, I agree.
Even like with Toad, it's like, how the hell did he get
From his apartment
to here?
I
And
like
nobody
imagining,
knows.
I like imagining Colin just walking down and then someone seeing him and him going like, oink.
Yeah, literally.
That's pretty
yeah,
funny.
saying oink. Yeah, oink.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
can get away with it.
I agree.
If
I
I
think
saw
so
a pig
too.
say oink, I'd be like, all right.
But Gooch, you're right. It's
That's
just the
work.
fact that it could happen is the thing, is the idea. And Snow's really trying to get down to this point of she's like, after this, everything's by the book. Bigby, you can't rip someone's throat out again. And I'm like, okay, we'll see.
And that's why
I
I
was
was
like, if the job calls
Yeah.
for
I
it.
guess we have to send people back to the farm. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like I also said the same, jumping ahead a little bit, but with the Toad, I was like, you got to go back, dude.
Oh, I didn't.
Like,
I
it-
told him we'd pay for his glamour.
Well, dude, so when I was in the pawn shop, I tried to give him money and he did not take it.
Give who?
Toad.
Oh, I
the
thought we
pawn
were talking
shop?
about Colin.
He wasn't at the pawn shop for me.
Oh, he was at the pawn
Because you
shop
went
for
there
me.
second.
I did.
Yeah,
I
that's
also
why.
went there second.
Ooh.
But he was there for you?
Yeah, Toad was.
Really?
Second.
Toad was not there for me.
Wait, you went.
I went
Oh, wait,
to,
I went pawn shop first.
Oh, okay. Then,
Yeah, I did not go second.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I
lying.
did butcher shop first, then pawn shop.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad we did something different because then we get the different perspectives.
Yeah, I remember because when Narissa tells you, I was like, all right, that's pretty direct.
Yeah.
Well, but I thought she was saying like you should go to like the Beauty and Beast. or
Yeah,
whatever.
right. Beauty and Beast call Snow and Snow
Yeah,
interrupts
yeah.
everyone.
Oh, yeah, that's
We're-
right.
we're
That's
all-
not.
we're all
I
over
think
the
that's
place
out.
right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and she's like, you should go check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
They
let's
know
go back.
things.
So we were at Bigby's apartment. After that, we get called to the security office, right, to talk to Narissa. Correct? Is that when that
Yeah,
happens?
she shows up and she's like,
trying to
she has
tell
some,
you-
some sort of confession.
Yeah, and this is when Bigby starts to put together that the ribbons are the issue, and that's
Yeah.
what's causing it. You can choose to try and take off her ribbon, and she freaks out.
I did not.
Yeah, I didn't.
But even when you get, it doesn't matter if you get close
Yeah,
or not.
'cause
She
she's
still
still-
freaks out.
yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
because I picked the option that was like the dialogue said like, "Oh, is there
We're gonna-
anything we can do?"
Exactly.
And then you like literally
you
like
kind of move your hand.
yeah, Bigby's like, "Oh, is there anything we can do?" She's like,
Can we just
"Dude,
take it off?
dude,
Yeah.
no."
She's super freaked out.
Yeah, so
and I'd be
no matter what
curious
you
if,
do, it's gonna.
I wish I could think back at that time and realize like, oh, so that's what's cutting their heads off.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd assume that I
It's
had
weird
that.
how
I think it's
Bigby-
pretty obvious. at
Yeah,
that
by
point.
this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird how Bigby just kind of figures it out. I mean, I guess like
guess
Well,
it's
they
pretty
knew.
obvious.
Well, he
it
knows
is,
it's,
but you never like see anything that really tips him off, other than just them constantly saying.
Well,
"Our
Crane,
lips are
I
sealed."
think Crane obviously at the beginning he's like you can he's trying to make them talk because then Bigby finds out that they have the curse, right? That
Yeah.
they can't do anything.
Yeah, I guess it's him just
And
putting
then
two and two
they
together.
keep pointing to. I feel like they
Yeah.
keep. I do think they give you enough context clues where
Yeah.
I believe that he
And
kind of
that is
understands
his
it.
job.
Yes, he would.
It's just funny. He's sitting there and he's like, you know what? I think it's this.
I think it's the
like,
yeah.
oh,
All right,
lips
maybe.
are
All right,
sealed.
whatever, Big B. Good for you.
And she hits like, my lips are sealed.
Wink, wink. But yeah, she's just trying to tell him what she can without telling him.
Yeah.
I do like when Snow interrupts that conversation. She has like a few different attire changes.
She's in black with the snow with the.
The red.
Dandruff.
No, she's blue. Or does she change again?
Oh, it's black with blue. Yeah,
It's black with the blue, and there's like snowflakes on it.
Yeah, at the funeral
That's
she's
just
black.
dandruff.
She's black with red. Yeah, and then she's the only character who seems to change his outfits like pretty
Yeah.
often, which I thought I like when
true.
characters change clothes in games.
Yeah, that should happen more.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it's more.
it
Like in
happens in
front of
Red
me.
Dead a
I should
lot.
see it like yeah, for sure. It adds to the storytelling for sure.
It's always like the girl, like second protagonist, because then I think like BioShock, Elizabeth has like 10 costumes.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
and then
funny. That's a
everybody
good point.
else like is wearing the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And you're just not even seeing
Yeah.
Booker
Yeah.
either. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that is
Good
interesting.
point. Yeah, so Snow, Beauty called. She wants her
She needs money.
something back. There's a joke here. I don't know.
Yeah.
This was probably my least favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, so we go,
Beauty and Beast
and
shit.
Narissa's like, yeah, like we said, go to Beauty and Beast lead. So we go to the apartment, and we kind of find out they're in debt to the Crooked Man, and they're both working for him, as we obviously know that Beauty is, but Beast is making deliveries. And one of the things that Bigby notices is like, guys are living pretty well
Yeah,
off
that's the
for
thing.
being pretty poor.
I really liked it because
That
it
was
showed
fun. I like
how
that
much
part.
pieces of shit they are. Too.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I wouldn't interpret it as them being pieces of shit. I think there's like kind of validity and like genuineness to what they're saying. Like they're used to a certain
No,
kind of
I get
lifestyle.
that, but
that's
you're a piece
airhead.
of shit. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's
But
dumb.
like
that means
It's
you
beauty,
are.
they're Beauty and the Beast.
No, I.
Well,
look,
that's a
now-
good point.
don't
That
get
is
me wrong.
actually a good point.
Yeah, they're,
No,
they're,
don't
get me
they're,
wrong.
they're
Yeah.
these legends.
Listen,
Yeah.
I get that. I
What-
do.
yeah.
But it still doesn't make me feel sympathy for them.
Oh, I don't
Gooch
feel
won
like
me over. I'm on Gooch's side now. I started on this side of the table, but then you said they're Beauty and the Beast. I went, oh yeah, they are.
Fuck, dude, I've seen that movie.
Because I mean, if you, Fables, you are just your story and that's it. So if you're not living that, like, then what are you? You know?
No,
then
don't
you're the
get me
woods.
wrong.
You're the woodsman,
I
like
get
drinking
it.
like a lonely.
But I
Right,
do
he was
think that
forgotten.
that's-
yeah, they're trying to not be that.
I do
Right.
think that point paints them in an unsympathetic light.
Yeah.
to my
Oh, for
opinion.
sure.
And,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
would I would preface this. I don't really sympathize with them.
Sure.
I just
Yeah.
kind of understand
You
why.
get what they're saying.
And because also
What?
we're not we're in Fabletown now. It's not we're not doing that shit anymore. So
No, for
like
sure.
if, you don't have to fucking live with all
Well,
that
it's
stuff.
like you could make a pretty moderate life, and they're
Yeah.
like, what are we gonna live like? Normal
Yeah,
people? Like,
yeah.
I'm like,
I think I'm back on his side now. I'm sorry. I think I'm back on this side of the
God
table.
damn it. I do like when like you go to leave and they're like, "Would you deal with these people for us?
Yeah.
Would you kill for us?"
I think
I'm like,
I gave him.
and I'm just like, "Shut the fuck
Yeah,
up."
literally, I'm like, I won't help you, but
Yeah.
luckily for you, what I do will probably
We'll
end up
probably
hurting you.
end up
I
with
think I
that.
did something funny, like I didn't say anything, and I was just like,
Oh, I fully leaned into that. I was like, you said I should fucking murder this guy?
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
No, that's not what we said.
No, just take care of the problem.
we didn't say that.
Yeah.
We didn't say that. Hold on.
and so they give us our lead to either go to the Lucky Pawn,
Yes.
which is where,
Jersey Devil
right,
and Jack.
beauty, right, tells you about the pawn shop,
Yeah.
and then the Woodsman axe was, was there, and
The Jersey Devil
Mary
looks
had it.
like a Witcher enemy.
Okay.
One of the
Election.
Election. Exactly. Yeah, that's the one. I was like,
I
it
was
looks,
getting Paul Giamatti.
Oh, for sure.
I
for-
do.
yeah.
I have
Paul
a fun
Giamatti
fact about
license.
that. You
Yeah.
better-
No,
Hey,
shut it.
All right, so
I
where
do.
should we go to the pawn or this? We'll make our decision now. Should we go
Yeah.
to the pawn store
You
or
see
the butcher
both.
shop?
So
first?
and then
Gooch in editing, do the pawn shop and the just
Yeah,
like how
yeah.
they do it in the
yeah,
graphic.
let's look
and-
up. Yeah. Okay.
and then the Beast is making deliveries to the butcher shop,
Yeah.
so that's why we're going there. I went to the pawn shop
First,
first.
yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
She went to the butcher shop.
I
So
went to
since
the
we
pawn
outnumber
shop.
you, we're going to the pawn
We're
shop.
going to the pawn shop first, baby.
So, me and Joey ran into Jack and Toad having a transaction with Faith's donkey skin coat. He's trying to sell it to make a little dosh because he also needs his glamour. He's unglamored. That's where like that first conversation happens where it's like, dude,
What
like,
are you doing?
yeah, like come on. And I'm like, I have money that I took from a last episode. I forget where I got it, but I'm like, I tried to give him money and he's like, I don't need your fucking charity.
I will say to go back very shortly, I
Yeah.
did grab the money from Ichabod's jacket.
That's after. That's coming.
It's in the
that's
butcher
coming,
shop.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
going ahead shortly.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
No, that's in the that's in the pawn
no,
shop.
there's two places. No,
the pawn shop.
No, it's in the butcher shop.
I got it from the pawn shop. I got the money. I got his jacket and the
Really?
money out of the pawn shop
It's different.
Where'd you get the magic shard?
in his jacket pocket.
It switches. It changes.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's hung up with the woodsman's axe.
So for us, it's in the butcher
It's in the
shop.
butcher shop.
I guess
Where
that
is
makes
it in
sense
the
because
butcher
then if
shop?
you found it at the pawn shop, you wouldn't need to go to the butcher shop really after that because
Right.
that's the main
So
thing.
it's like again, illusion of choice. You have to you like go one place first, but like you
It
gotta-
really doesn't. Yeah, that
Yeah,
that should stay the same. Really.
that changes what I even think happened at certain points. Then
Yeah,
I
that's
don't want to get
interesting.
too ahead, but those chains in the butcher shop I thought were Ichabod. Are they not? Then
No, those are just witches that are making glam like slave labor.
Wait, what do you mean chains?
There's chains on the ground.
Oh, like
at,
they're
the
chained
butcher
there
shop.
making-
Oh, I
the-
thought
Yeah.
they were. Yeah, I figured they were like how like
They're
in-
chained
in
to the
movies,
floor and, like, yeah, when you walk in.
the drug dealers are like chained
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and then there's
okay.
like everyone in a mask just working, and they're all chained.
they're all
Yeah, like,
naked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all naked.
Yeah, you gotta clap every what is it? Couple of minutes? Is
Yeah.
that a thing?
Something like that.
Make sure you're not
They gotta
stealing
check
the
your
money.
cheeks too when you leave.
Check your cheeks. Cough for me.
Yeah.
Type of business. Anyway.
Anyways.
we're at the pawn shop.
I did have my.
Damn, we got pretty vulgar.
We've gotten much vulgar.
I've seen
on
Breaking
this.
So Jack and Toad, like it's so funny. Fucking dude, Jack. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Why
I hate
is this-
Jack.
Why is this guy like everywhere?
Jack annoys me.
And it,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's funny. I
Smarmy.
showed up there. He just kind of ran out for me.
Really?
Jack. Yeah. I didn't even talk to him.
Oh, okay. So he's there. Like
He
you
was
know,
there for me
him and
too.
Toad are
Yeah.
there beforehand.
But
We
Jack's
walk in
like
on that.
leaving as you're going, and he's like,
Okay.
and then he just kind of runs out.
And
Yeah.
Jersey Devil's already there.
Yeah.
Okay. That
I
makes
wish
sense.
I picked that.
He's arguing with the woodsman.
Okay. So when
Oh,
you go
yeah.
there first, Jersey and the Woodsman will walk in, and
Yeah,
then
halfway through.
and then Jack definitely like
I see.
gets
Yeah,
the
then
fuck
he's
out.
like, I gotta go. I got
So
somewhere to be.
and before that happens though, you get to interrogate Jack, what he knows about the Woodsman's Axe. You're looking around. Oh, he pilfered more stuff from cranes.
Yeah.
There's some other stuff, and then there's the axe.
Yeah.
And then you get kind of more up with him, and then that's when Jersey and the Woodsman show up. Jersey Devil owns the shop. They enter, and you do fight the Jersey Devil. Woody helps you, kind of.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of on the, it's like the
Did you break them up at all?
I pushed Jersey Devil away because I'm like, I would not,
Yeah.
he's my boy right now.
Yeah.
We're friends, even though he
I just
tried
let
to
them
kill me.
duke it out. And then, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you do join in eventually. You have to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and then you beat the shit out of him, stab him with his horn, and he spills that the door moves. So that's the big piece of information that he gives you about the Crooked Man, that this door is moving
I
around.
like that you stab him with his horn, you hit him in the head with an axe, you
yeah,
do all this,
handle.
and then at the end he's like, dude, I need an Advil.
yeah.
Pretty good bit.
Did you let him talk at the end before
I
you
did.
left?
I didn't walk out. Yeah.
Yeah, I did smack. I stomped him. Though.
I kind of like his like caricature.
Yeah.
And that is a fun
You know what I
fact
thought
I
was
will go
interesting?
into.
I wanted to look this up before I got here, but the interpretation of the Jersey Devil that they do looks more like the Wendigo. You know
Interesting.
that?
Yeah, like I was saying, he
Yeah.
looks like a
So-
Leshen from
Yeah.
Witcher.
I'm glad you brought it up, Joey,
Let's go. Give me
because
the
the
research.
Jersey Devil, game only. And I think this is a stretch for like a fable because like Jersey Devil is
It's
like
more
a
of a
legend,
legend, yeah,
like the
like a-
Chupacabra or
yeah,
something
correct,
like that.
yeah.
So in South Jersey and Philadelphia folklore in the United States, the Jersey Devil is a legendary creature said to inhabit the forests of the Pine Barrens in South Jersey. Sopranos.
Yeah. Immediately where my mind goes.
That was amazing. But, yeah, Sopranos.
I love how like the it's so funny like there's been a ton of Sopranos mentions on this series. The creature is often described as a flying biped with hooves, 2 legs. The common description is that it's a bipedal kangaroo-like or wyvern-like creature with a horse or goat-like head, leathery bat wings, horns, small arms.
Here's a
with
picture. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, with clawed hands, legs, and cloven hooves, and has a forked or pointed tail. It has been reported to move quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curling scream, which we don't really get in the game.
Thank God, that'd be spooky.
But the description he talks about is like leathery wings, like it's pretty apt. And this is his fable from the game. Not all of the fables who came to this world landed in Fabletown. There are those who scattered across the farthest corners of the globe, and there are those who simply prefer the Garden State to the Empire State, such as the Jersey Devil. Reports of his appearances have varied, although most accounts make mention of leathery wings. But an encounter with a certain axe of legend some years ago has temporarily rendered that feature absent. So his wings were cut off by the woodsman.
that's pretty cool. Dang.
Yeah.
Interconnected.
Yeah.
They should have, when they walk in, he should have had a Wawa hoagie then if he's from Jersey. That'd have been cool.
Absolutely.
Just
That
like a
would've
little nod to the.
it doesn't even have to say Wawa on it, but it has like the Hoagie
Yeah.
Fest design on
Okay,
it.
so
Yeah.
I
Just
do
little
only
nod
have
to
2
us.
fun facts for this episode, and one of them is about
Not so fun.
the Jersey Devil. So I'm just gonna get into
Do
it
it.
right now.
Yeah.
Sad on the fun facts, man. Fun facts are hard.
They're tough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for movies,
Sometimes you just don't got
movies.
them.
It's
Yeah.
easier though too because like there's so much behind the scenes stuff. The only
Right.
ones that I had
Yeah.
issues finding fun facts were Journey to the Center of the Earth. I literally
That was
found
serious business.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
tough. I had to do some digging.
Jersey's human form personality may have been inspired by Les Gold, a pawn shop owner who's
yeah.
renowned for his toughness and appears on the show Hardcore Pawn.
Yeah, that is just
I
him.
see that.
and I'm like,
Dang,
and
that's sick. I gotta start watching Hardcore Pawn
I
again.
googled like a picture. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's that,
He's
yeah.
just like this, like
Especially
fuck-
like if you think like 2014, like that was a pretty.
It's just peak.
pretty popular
yeah.
show.
yeah.
Dude, Hardcore Pawn was awesome. Fuck, I gotta watch
I was a Pawn Star. I know that's
Yeah.
Fuck
easy.
Pawn
That's
Stars.
easy.
American Pickers is where it's at.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
gee,
I know
you
that's
about
not
the
a
falling out between the
Yeah,
American
he's not
Pickers?
even there anymore.
Frank.
I know
and
he
Mike?
left. What happened?
Apparently, Mike was a piece of shit.
Damn.
He was all about the fame, all about the show.
Yeah, now they have like an old guy now, right?
yeah.
It's his brother.
It's his brother now.
Oh,
Fuck, dude.
yeah.
Look it up. It's a sad story
We'll do a
of the
cast on
American
that.
Pickers.
Jesus Christ.
I did love that show a lot when I was
Yeah,
younger.
no, I
I
genuinely
genuinely don't think they faked a lot of that too. Whereas like when you go into like
So
I don't know.
the fame got to his head.
Oh, I think so. I think they just
So
or maybe they just had
So they
who knows?
axed him? What like
I think Frank just left.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because what's her name? The other girl was coming out with them on the road a lot too
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Look up your American Picker lore.
There was
Gooch. We got that?
no.
there was nothing funnier than when they would be in some old guy's shed and they'd find like some rusty sign and they'd be like, oh, how about $50? And he's like, I really
yeah.
like it. I was actually gonna. I love it.
I was gonna
It's like,
use
dude,
that
what the fuck
actually.
are-
Now
yeah.
that you've, it's funny
Yeah,
you mentioned
always
that. I was
classic.
gonna.
Okay.
Those are my favorite picks.
So,
for sure.
boys, it's Sunday. Let's go to the butcher shop and get our fucking meat for our
Let's get our
meatballs. We're
capicola.
cooking gravy today.
Love it.
So we're going to a cut above, which is funny because there's a cut above deli
that is funny.
right down the Westchester Pike. Shout out to Cut Above.
Joe passed on the way
I
here.
bet this is the first time they've ever been talked about on a podcast.
Quick side tangent. Does Alfredo's have wings again?
They didn't have wings,
I thought they got rid of they were too expensive during COVID,
and they got
Ooh,
rid of
they-
them.
and they just didn't keep serving.
I do
them,
remember
so-
there was a wing
Remember,
surge
remember
thing.
on the I think it was the first recording that you were like we were talking about that, and you were like gonna go get them, but you didn't.
Yeah, the promise I've made is that episode 5, I'm getting it on the way home.
I love it. I might honestly go pick some up before I go back
Yeah.
to King of Prussia.
Episode 5, we're
I can't
planning
remember
around
the
me doing
last
that.
time. You know what? Let's just go after. That'll be a
Yo,
celebration.
celebrate.
Or we'll get some wings and have them here to celebrate. We might have to do that.
yeah, we should. That's
Yeah,
a good
right
idea.
from the mic.
no,
That'd be
for-
nice.
Yeah,
good
nice
idea.
ASMR for everyone. No, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Bones all over the table.
I'm hyped for the wings, boys.
Yeah.
But of course, our butcher shop owned by
Yes.
Johan, and this may not be obvious about who this guy is.
Sebastian
Johan the
Bach.
butcher. What?
Johann Sebastian Bach. It's based on Bach.
Is he
There we go.
right?
No.
You looked very. I was like, wow, that's a very odd fable.
Johan the butcher, game only, not a comic book character. He's from the fable Rub-a-Dub-Dub. And
What?
It's an English language nursery rhyme first published at the end of the 18th century in volume 2 of Hook's Christmas Box. So hey, Rub-a-Dub-Dub, 3 maids in a tub. Who do you think they were? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker? Question mark. All of them gone to the fair. That's
it.
That's what he's from.
And they don't mention his name at all in that or anything. They just made
No,
a.
he's the
I'm
butcher
sure that
from
they-
this
yeah.
from this rhyme.
I'm
What
sure.
is that rhyme about?
I don't
What am I
understand.
supposed to extract from that? Is that supposed to make me want to take a bath?
Yeah, I don't know what's up.
Because I feel like usually nursery rhymes have some kind of thing where it's like, all right, you got to go to bed. You got to
Like
brush
Jack,
your teeth.
like Jack went up the
there's-
hill and he fell down.
Exactly.
Something,
There's
yeah,
like a
like-
moral to it. I don't know what that one's telling me. Is it take a bath?
I think so. With a butcher?
Yeah, I don't understand. I'm
Joey,
not doing that.
I wish I could like blow your mind
Yeah.
right now, but
No clue.
Really, really, it speaks to the innocence of humanity and
Yeah,
our own
true.
Inward process of thinking of.
I guess if you don't have TV, that's like nice.
that's like
enough.
insane.
Like, all right, that's a cool
I mean,
story you
dude, they
just
used to
told
go
me.
watch people get hanged.
Yeah, true.
That was all they had.
Yeah, and then they would go home and tell those. I guess that's what
Did
it's
you
for.
see John get hanged?
Yeah, I
Or
guess
what?
it's when you're like all messed up from seeing the death,
Yeah.
and the morbidity, and you get home and then you hear that, and you're like, oh,
That's
well,
pretty nice.
good.
That's much
And-
better. Yeah.
well, let's take a dark turn.
That's
So
what you get when you get me my twisted ass on the podcast.
In this is his fable thing. His name often is said in the same breath of that as the baker and the candlestick maker of Fabletown. And like those other tradesmen, Johan the Butcher's storefront has served Fabletown for ages. Fresh cuts, exotic meats, and even full sides of beef for the vigorous appetites of ogres and trolls. But Johan's business has fallen into the wrong crowd as the quality of his products declined and his business turned into a front operation for the crooked man. Some have started to wonder if they even ever really knew Johan.
True. He's kind of a slimy coward, yellow belly.
He is kind of, like a pushover kind of
Yeah.
guy.
I think I did sympathize with him a bit by the end of
Oh,
the way.
100%.
Like,
If I had a butcher shop and anybody like mildly rude came in and was like telling me like, hey, you're going to start doing this for me, I'd be like, oh, okay.
I'd start thinking about it, but then they'd pull out a gun.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
yeah.
yeah, I'll do it.
So-
I-
You went there first.
I
What
did.
happens?
Nothing. So he comes out and you like look over the store. No one else is in there.
Okay.
And you're looking. You're like the frozen meat and stuff like that. And then I ring the bell.
No fillet. I mean, yeah.
I ring the bell. Then he comes out and he's
Yep.
he's like, oh, sheriff.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? And he's like,
Sheriff,
he's all freaked out, and he just keeps asking me things, and I just give him the silent treatment the entire time. I just
Yeah.
don't say a word.
Really?
And he's just
Nice.
like, oh yeah, and then he's like, oh, what was that? I gotta go to the back.
Does
and
he hit
check.
the panic
hits
button?
Hits the panic button.
So that seems pretty much the same.
And then
Yeah,
he goes back there. You find the whole room empty and all that stuff. The run sign is on. You see the whole blackboard with everyone's basically name on it.
Yeah.
You realize that they're
Wait. It's not erased for you?
Oh, that's the difference.
No, you see,
It's erased for us.
no, for us, you can see everyone, like everyone's name is on it. Like, you can see everyone's
That's
name.
cool.
is
That's
on it.
really well done. then.
It's like
what is it a chronicling of?
He's it's I think it's about what everyone's buying. Or I can't remember. It has names and then like
Is it
something
people
else.
we know?
Yeah, I think.
Are they
well,
buying like glamours?
I
and-
think so, and
shit?
just
Okay.
basically and loan sharking and things like that. I
Right,
think stuff
money.
like that. But yeah, you can see, and Big Beef was like, oh, basically all of fucking Fabletown is
Yeah.
involved. Like almost everyone is.
Which
yeah.
is funny because there's like dialogue options that literally say that like everyone in Fabletown's involved later on, but for us who didn't even see that.
Oh, right.
So it's like, where
Good
does he
point.
get? Where does he? I guess
he's starting to deduce it. That,
Yeah,
like, even like
it's
his
just-
Beauty and the
yeah.
Beast are involved. Like, yeah, but still, that's definitely more of the
Yeah,
point.
because I
of, like,
remember when I saw that dialogue option, I was like, why is he thinking that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's
I
interesting.
mean, I
Yeah,
guess.
you know,
Well, if you
I
think
think I
about
thought the
it,
same
though,
thing. I'm like,
Beauty and the Beast are involved with it, and then like the
It-
Butcher. I guess it's enough
it's
people.
a generalization.
Yeah.
And then you know Johan's being like, he started kind of gets mad. He's like, what the fuck am I gonna do here now? Like
Yeah.
you did this to me. And like, listen, I want to help you. I get that I'm involved, but they came in and just basically pointed a gun at my head and
Yeah.
said, you're gonna help us, and if you don't, you're fucked. So, you know, it is that kind of, again, the idea of like the poor people of the neighborhood really getting shafted by the organized
Yeah.
crime and stuff like that. This is obviously a very heavy allusion. Yeah, I think
to
that's the word.
organized crime.
And just how
Yeah.
it works in shitty neighborhoods and how people get sucked up in it and stuff. It's good. It's, you know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sopranos.
Sopranos.
I pretty much anytime anyone at the end of a like conversation goes like, "Hey, can you keep this under? Can you do this for me?" I'm always like, "I got you." So yeah, even when he's like, "What about me?" I'm like, "Well, just come to the
Dude,
office."
I'm like, well, yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just relax.
I always try to do because it's like, I mean, the choices never end up mattering.
Yeah.
So this is where we find the shard, the mirror shard. You found
So I
it.
found it. Yeah, basically, like
It's in Crane's jacket.
when they get in a fight, the thing opens up at the like the same way.
I
at
guess
the
it
pawn
makes
store.
sense. You have to get
Oh,
it
yeah,
at the
Woody-
second
Woody's-
place.
That's what I was
no
saying.
matter
When
what.
he gets
to go
his
back.
axe back.
Yes,
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see
Skip
the jacket in
and
there.
then they part ways, and you can be like,
Yeah.
Did
"Hey,
you get
Woody."
Did you take the money out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, it's
yeah.
fucking Crane took it from us.
Yeah,
And
fucking-
I looked at it and I was like, I'm giving this to Toad.
That's
and
what I thought,
and
too.
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Did you? Were you able to?
oh, yeah, it was
Well,
awesome.
wait, but like, so were you handing him the money there?
Yeah.
Huh?
No, when you so when
When
you
you
when you're back
at
you
the
offered
business
to pay.
office.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, when you're back
yeah.
at the office.
And I
and
did
Snow tells you
I did-
don't do it. and
I
I'm
do
like,
like how there's like this like fucking like meth lab, black magic lab in the
Yeah,
back
that
of
was
the butcher.
cool.
Like it was just like, you know, like from like Breaking Bad.
Like
or
we
some
said, yeah,
shit.
it's ripped right out.
I just kind of
chained
liked
to
it.
the witches are chained to the ground making the drugs, aka
I
the
like
glamours.
drugs. I like
drugs
I
are
like
great,
the
yeah.
idea of the drug lab.
It's great stuff.
And we do see the Crooked Man's icon on these boxes for the first time. in
yeah,
there
which
as well.
badass logo.
It is
I
bad.
need a logo.
It would, yeah. If you have a
You
logo,
guys got
you're
the
doing
DNN
something
logo,
right.
and I love it. I need
Yeah.
like a personal
Personal Joey logo.
You need
Yeah.
a brand, is what
I need a
you're saying.
brand.
I
Yeah,
like
I'm
it.
working on
Alright.
that.
So we go back to the business office. Bluebeard and Toad are fucking having at it. It's like, okay, and then we get to the point.
Whoa, dude,
All right.
pause.
How is Bluebeard not involved? Like that.
I know,
piece of
it's
shit.
so funny.
Yeah,
because like
Yeah.
he's just like this piece of shit.
Yeah, up
Involved
until
in it.
now, I've kind of had the back of my head. I was like, I think, is it Bluebeard behind all this, and I'm forgetting it?
He's injected a lot of money into Fabletown,
Yeah.
and you get a codex entry from this that says like, you know, like despite him being a dick, he's like helped Fabletown like
Yeah.
in
A lot. So that's why.
immensely.
Yeah.
Yes,
interesting.
yeah. So this is where we get our conversation to send Toad back to the farm, and I do.
Yeah. No.
Damn, what the hell, bro?
We gotta follow the rules.
No.
But it's not his fault. Like again, like if they.
Yes, it is.
No, it
The
isn't.
rules are bullshit.
Because he has no money to do anything with.
He
and
also
he can't
owns
glamour himself
he
to
also
go out
owns
to
an
work.
apartment complex.
For sure.
Yeah, that's
he does.
Yeah,
And that's something Bigby says is like you own.
oh, do you mean the apartment complex with a giant hole through the wall in the front face of the building? Who's moving in there?
In a shitty part of town, I'm sure he gets a
Yeah.
lot of rent from that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
I think the
So
system's
listen,
stacked against Toad. I love Mr.
agree.
Toad's Wild Ride.
so-
I've gone on record before. I'm always going to be in
Really,
Toad's
I
corner.
said yes because I had that money in my pocket. I was like, listen, yeah, we'll pay for this, but if this happens again,
So here's my thing.
you're fucked.
He declined me once. I offered to
Oh.
give him the money the first time,
That's fair.
and
He's got pride.
now he's spitting back in my face.
You know, there's some cultures in the world where you have to offer multiple times. It's considered customary to decline the first time and then
I've
you
heard that about
suggest it
Toad
again.
culture for sure.
Yeah,
too.
and Toads, it's them too. Yeah,
Yeah. Not to be confused with the
That's
Mushroom
real.
Kingdom's
Google
Toad
it.
culture.
I'm like,
Google it.
I can't tell if you're like doing
No,
a
that's
thing.
genuinely real.
Or are you
Yeah.
being
That's the
honest?
thing where it's customary to decline the first couple offers and then accept.
Interesting.
yeah, I
a
have.
con-
That's like Japanese. No,
Think.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I am a cultural expert.
Maybe Middle Eastern.
So, and also I feel like
India.
I'm very loyal to Snow.
Yeah, I am
Not
to a
at
degree
all.
too, but
See,
like,
I'm
but I'm
wrapped.
like,
Sip.
still,
I'm whipped.
Sip.
but I'm like, I'm wondering where we'd be at if like the government of Fabletown wasn't run by an organized crime. But I guess that's kind of what it comes down to by the end. Is like, I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to that last episode, but. It's an interesting question.
I don't even remember what happens at the end.
I think I remember.
That's a
I
beauty of
remember.
this.
I think I remember pretty well.
I
Now
don't.
that we've gotten to this, I remember.
I think you can,
certain things it
Oh,
involves.
the end of episode 5. Yeah, no, I have no
like
idea where
and
it
like
goes from here.
the kind
didn't
of
even
case
finish
that
this
the
one.
I watched the coming up next on at the end of this one and still was like, I
I
think
have no
I
idea
remember
what's going
Bigby
on.
being on a car.
I just know there's a gigantic confrontation.
I know
and-
you fight Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Okay. So we repair the magic mirror.
Yes.
We do some rhymes.
Yes,
What were
because
we gonna
this
say?
is we're getting to a part that I probably one of my favorite little
my
things in the
goodness.
episode. Oh, we have that too. We'll save that
we'll
for
save
the
it
end.
for the end.
I don't
We'll
know
save that for
what
the
it
end.
is.
I don't know either. And
We'll
I'm
save it
so
for the end.
excited.
But in the shard
A
part,
little bit of sizzle.
I'm startled.
walk us through what happens when you get the mirror together though, because there's something I loved in this part.
So we get the mirror together, and then Snow's like, "I'll do the fucking rhyme," and then she's like, you know, whatever, something. Abel, show me this fable.
Yeah.
That's what she does. He does that at the beginning too, or so, in one of the earlier
Yeah,
episodes. They
big-
go,
that's a
blah,
big-
blah,
that's a
blah,
big-
Abel,
that's a-
so
that's what
Memphis
Bigby
fable.
says in the first episode.
Yeah.
That-
No, for me it was actually Bluffkin. He's like, he
yeah.
actually does like a real rhyme, and he's like,
Yeah,
something you deserve.
Yeah, Buffkin starts with a rhyme to fix it. But
Oh, that's right. And then you see Bloody Mary with Crane. He's being sent
yeah,
to Paris.
Snow's like, or like, you know, she's like, "Where's Crane? What's he doing?" And Bigby's like, "You sure want to do that?" And they do it anyway. So it sounds like it's not a non-choice. And yeah, Crane is fleeing to Paris. Bloody Mary, I guess, is sending him off. Get the fuck
Which
out.
is so funny because it's like Fabletown. It's like, oh, all the fables are here. Now you have one that's just going to be like way fucking far away.
and that's the thing,
Which
it's
makes
like-
me wonder: are there
Well,
fables in
If
other
there's
places?
No, but that's what I mean.
like, no, go ahead.
If like you have to stay here. If
Yeah,
you're
like,
favored?
No,
yeah.
it does, so like that Jersey Devil entry, like some of them.
That's what I thought. So like
out.
they're like, there's no work here. It's like, well, maybe you don't live
yeah.
there. If
Is
you
the
get- or
idea
I
that
guess,
you
like-
still need to be able to afford glamours plus the cost of shipping them to wherever
And also
you
sounds
are?
like their community is
Like,
there,
and that's-
right? Like
yeah.
if
And
they're,
that's
if they're
true.
not there, they're
But
on
like,
their
if I'm a
own.
person who doesn't need to glamour, like
Yeah.
like Big B doesn't need to glamour.
Yeah, like Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast doesn't need to glamour because he's
Right.
not a beast anymore because he was kissed out of being a
Yeah.
beast.
Right.
And Stockholm syndrome, no big deal. Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting in that respect, but I guess that would be, you have your community there, you have people who know.
So
That
what
makes sense.
did you want to mention? With
My favorite little thing was that how Bloody Mary notices she's being watched.
Oh, yeah.
because of
Yeah.
all this shit.
And that makes
yeah,
sense
for
with
her
her
mirror,
mirror thing. For
Yeah,
sure.
and then I love when
You
even
see
the
her
mirror,
hand.
even the mirror is like, was that
the
Mary?
fuck
Was
was
that Mary?
that? Yeah.
No, don't do
Let's
that.
not
That
do that
stings.
again. Yeah, I
He's
did
like,
not
that
like that.
hurts.
yeah,
That was
and he
funny.
rhymes it.
I
yeah.
love that. That was cool.
And then we do find the door, and the door is moving around, and it's under the Gothic Bridge in Central Park. So that's where we go.
Big B makes his way.
Yeah, Bigby storms off, opens the door, and here we are
With
the
Tim.
Crooked Lair with Tiny Tim.
With just Tim, it's just Tim.
yeah, just Tim. Sorry,
Tim.
don't want to be offensive.
Yeah, for God's sake.
So this is the description for the Crooked Lair: occupying a desanctified church. You know what that means? Desanctified, technically.
It's unholy, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam Smith.
That was.
Bam.
You know what? We're done for the day.
Four
actually.
episodes.
Can we
Four
end that?
episodes, and I'm
We're
still
not doing-
firing on all
And we're not
cylinders.
doing the fifth one after that.
And
It's
that's the
done.
clip. And that's the clip that's going on Facebook. That's all clip that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so when something is desanctified, it means it's like the church has deemed whatever this is not a holy site. This is-
Unconsecrated, like John Wick.
Yes. Yeah, it's the same thing. This is one of the many locations the Crooked Man's operation uses to run the Fabletown underworld. Its a lounge atmosphere makes for a comfortable meeting place unless you are an unwelcome guest. It's completely boarded up to the outside world, and the only way is through one of the many portals marked by a door with the Crooked Man's Catherine wheel icon. That's what that torture device
Catherine
is. Scattered throughout the city and elsewhere. So yeah, Tim shows up. Very unexpected. Tim.
Adorable.
Was he early? Was he in this before?
No, it's the first time we've seen him.
All right, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So who is?
I like that you hear like the creaking and you're like, oh God, what's it gonna be? And
Yeah,
then
he's
it's
like,
just little
hey
Tim.
man, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
and
Big B.
before we get into their interactions, what I think is interesting, let's talk about Tiny Tim. Game only. Of course, he's from A Christmas Carol, a novella written by Charles Dickens, first published in London by Chapman and Hall in 1843 and illustrated by John Leach. A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol. Whoa. Carol recounts the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, an elderly miser who is visited by ghosts of his former business partner Jacob Marley and the spirits of Christmas past, present, and future. And their visits to Scrooge transform him into a kinder, gentle man. Tiny Tim is the younger, ailing son of Bob Cratchit, Ebenezer Scrooge's underpaid clerk. When Scrooge is visited by the ghost of Christmas present, he's shown just how ill the boy really is, considering the family cannot properly pay for this treatment with the salary Scrooge pays Cratchit. When visited by the ghost of Christmas yet to come, Scrooge sees that Tiny Tim has died. This and several other visions led Scrooge to reform his ways. And at the end of the story, Dickens makes it explicit that Tiny Tim does not die. Scrooge becomes a second father to him in the story. Tim is known for the statement, "God bless us, everyone," which he offers as a blessing at Christmas dinner. Dickens repeats this phrase at the end of the story, symbolic of Scrooge's change of heart. And the reason why I write this is because he's doing the exact same thing to the Crooked Man. He's like kind of vouching for a really fucked up dude.
Yeah.
And like very...
But and he's doing so because he seems to actually treat him like a human being. Where
right. Yeah, where like, but like in the Christmas Carol, like Tiny Tim likes Scrooge.
Yeah.
Even though he's not paying it, well, he's a kid, but he's not paying his dad well. His family isn't well off, and he's disabled. And out of all of that, he still like likes this crotchety old man.
Sees the good in him.
Yeah.
That's why when I saw Tiny Tim, I was expecting the Crooked Man to be Scrooge McDuck. I was like, oh, dude, there's going to be a giant fucked up duck with like a weird droopy eye and stuff.
Hello.
I'm not going to do the
quack.
impression.
But I think
Hello.
Tim's inclusion and the fact that like, you know, like he's really vouching for him hard in this moment. And this is the first time you ever hear anyone really talk about him like this. Like he's this good guy and he's helping Fables out and he's helping him out and he's not seeing him as just as Tiny Tim.
It's a really good manipulation tactic by the Crooked Man, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Make his walk-in man Tiny Tim, who is like the most sympathetic character you can have.
Right. And also like they're both like cut from the same cloth. They're both like the Crooked Man. He's disabled.
Did you ever see Gangs in New York?
I haven't.
It's on my list.
Really good. It kind of gives me like Daniel Day-Lewis vibes. Bill the Butcher.
I know that character.
Yeah.
Is he disabled?
No, he's like he would be the Crooked Man.
He's a
manipulator.
manipulator.
But just that kind of general thing where like he's an overall bad guy, but you have a lot of his underlings being like, look, like I don't know where I'd be without him. So like, he's kind of good. Yeah, and like how he has understudies and stuff. Also visually just kind of looks like Daniel.
His fable entry goes like this. While most fables theorize that the longevity and overall well-being is improved by the Mundy's world's knowledge of them, for a select few that does not seem to apply. When a malady or injury is an inaugural part of a fable story, that notoriety can make recovery nearly impossible. Damn. That's what Tiny Tim thinks, at least. And no medical care or magic, rather none that he can afford, can heal his leg. Very interesting.
That is interesting.
Like
that's core to his fable.
Yeah.
right.
So
how is he gonna get?
It seems like there's this like magic.
Yeah, the same thing with Beauty
like,
and Beast. This like weird, like indescribable.
You're
like,
Tiny
cosmic
Tim.
force.
You're crippled. You stay
can't
crippled.
get fixed. Yeah.
You can't heal yourself with magic.
I think what he needs to do is
go to
come
a
up with a
hospital.
new cool fable about himself
spread
where he's a
that
big
word,
buff guy and he can run really fast.
Yeah,
and stuff.
he changes.
And he's rich and
it's
awesome
a Christmas story.
Could
all
I
the
make
girls
like a
him.
fable about like a super hot model that loves me?
Yeah, and then it's just you.
And then,
and then it would just probably come true.
Yeah, it would happen. Right.
Yeah, I'd do one where I'm super rich.
So when Tim falls behind, did you wait for him or did you keep going?
I waited. I let him take me in. I didn't want to cause issue for him.
How could you fucking not?
I should have not did it though.
How could you fucking
There's
not?
always moments when I'm playing where I'm like, I think no one's going to do this and I should do it.
And then Tim opens the door and holy shit.
I opened the door.
Oh, you did?
I kicked that fucker open.
I thought you said you didn't.
What?
You waited for him, but you didn't let him.
Oh,
open
I
the
waited
door?
for him, but then so you hear them talking through the door, and then I do like a hold on, let me eavesdrop a little bit.
Right. What are they saying?
Yeah, I couldn't really. They were talking about something else.
They're just
It seemed pretty unrelated. So then I listened for a little bit. I was like, all right, I've heard enough. Bang.
And you walk in, and there he is. The
Hotline Miami, that door.
The Crooked Man and the Crooked Gang, as I like to call him. So it's Tweedledum, Tweedledee, Jersey Devil.
Well, not for me. It's just Tweedledee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Same.
the Tweedles.
Yeah.
The Tweedle.
Tweedle.
The singular.
Jersey Devil.
The lone Tweedle.
Who else is there? Is Bloody Mary's
the
not
one,
there?
the one stripper with the blonde
the
hair.
one salute.
Yeah. Georgie Porgy
Tiffany.
and
Tiffany. Something.
Vivian.
Yeah. The blonde haired one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because she was the one doing the books.
Yeah.
And there's one other person there, or no? Just those
No,
five?
because Bloody Mary's not
Bloody
there, right?
Mary's not there.
Yeah, so no.
And we see the Crooked Man for the first time, and he
Badass.
almost looks like a Stan Lee gangster.
Yeah.
And I really like it. It's a really good design, and like his his eyes droopy. I don't really know what like.
So are you gonna give his story on the next one?
Yes,
Yeah.
because we didn't.
Yeah,
even-
that's true.
yeah.
We probably shouldn't,
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad you asked because I didn't include it because I'm like we still didn't really. Need
Yeah,
it.
we don't really know
So
much.
like, I'm googling this right now because like crooked, like being crooked, like is like a
It
like
means it means
slang for like a disability, right?
no, it means like you're crooked as in like
Evil.
you're a bad person.
But I
Yeah.
think it's also in the nursery rhymes context. He's like crotchety, like he's
Crooked-
yeah, true.
No, that would make more sense. Yeah, for sure.
I guess that makes sense.
yeah. And I guess I'll
Because he's the
I-
crooked. He's probably deformed in some way.
Kane and
right. He is.
The eye.
Yeah, because that's why his eyes drooped too. I guess I'll find that out when I do the research. So
Absolutely.
maybe I'm jumping ahead a little bit.
But
Yeah, we see him, and that's where we end. And I think this is a great. That's
what
a
did you
great
guys
way
end
to
it on? Which choice did you choose?
I ended with a quick
See, you gotta do the same.
It
Come
was.
on.
I genuinely,
There's no other option.
I went Cowboy Bebop at the end.
My girlfriend was getting ready in the other room, and I just went, "Oh!"
Yeah.
She was like, "What?" I'm like, "It was just a great ending.
It was
I
cool.
really enjoyed
Also,
that."
I liked it was just quick too. I was kind of ready. I was like, dude, because
Oh, no, hold on a thing here.
I told you guys, I was like, I beat this like a couple hours before here, and I was like, I hope I have enough time. And then I was like, let me smoke, and then it cut, and I was like, nice. I saved
Yeah, it's
myself
over,
time. I can't imagine the other endings being as cool as that. As cool as
No,
that.
you
Yeah,
just
that was-
sit down.
Yeah,
What are you
the
doing?
The cigarette is such a trademark.
Yeah.
So our only other fun fact remaining. This is the only episode that includes no character deaths, regardless of players' actions.
Interesting.
No one dies.
Oh, is that,
That's it.
I guess yeah.
That people die in every
someone
other
always
episode.
be dying in that.
So let's talk about our choices, boys.
Let's talk about him.
Pull them up.
My
Let's pull 'em
blurry
up.
picture that I took across the room
Too lazy.
that I'm
to get up.
probably not going to be able to read.
Did you send Colin to the farm? Me and 30.9% of players chose to not give Colin an answer. Trio, where we lie with that? How about Joey?
Hold on, what's going on?
I sent him to, or no. Yeah, I decided not to send him to the farm, and it was me and 85% of players.
I didn't send it to the farm, so
Yeah.
I
And then
can't. My Microsoft unsigned me out, so I can't log in right now to get my
Come on,
screenshots.
Trio.
I'm sorry.
I
remember them, though.
Did you attempt to remove Narissa's ribbon? You and 60.2% of players did not try to remove the ribbon. Joey?
Okay, so even though she does like kind of spaz out,
Yeah.
I did not try.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that happens.
It still
I think
counts
you-
it as not.
I
Because
think
there's
your
a choice
hand
to
moves
literally like
regardless.
go for it, and you
So,
didn't
yeah,
either.
she's
Trio?
just
No, I
on
didn't.
edge. She needs to chill. Oh, what her head's gonna pop off? Spoilers.
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
like that hasn't happened ever. Right?
Everything will be fine.
Which crooked operation did you go to first? Me and 51.7% of players went to the
Oh, wow,
Lucky
that's a pretty even
Pawn.
Me
split.
and 36.
I went to the butcher.
Yeah, 36%.
Wow, that's a
of
big
players.
difference for the
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Dude, the percentages are crazy. They're
That's
always
interesting.
Did you send Toad to the farm? You and 22.2% of players chose to decide to send Toad
I'm
to
glad
the
that's
farm.
a low number.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, good
Makes me
job, you
sick.
idiot. No.
Makes me feel ill.
What was the percentage?
Me and 73% of players did the right thing.
Me and the whatever percent also did the right thing.
Yeah.
How did you respond
100.
to the crooked man? You and 29.1% of players lit a cig.
Dang, me and 43 did. The cool ass cinematic ending.
It's so good.
I feel like
The
it's
way
so
you
much,
just-
yeah, and
it's
it's so
so-
much better because like
And
why,
then, like the reverb on
yeah,
it.
why even start the conversation and then cut? I like that is literally just like, all right, let me get ready to go into whatever the hell this
this
is.
is,
Like,
and just-
that was cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's so good.
I like
Ease the tension.
All right.
Our reviews of this episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Gaming Age gave it 100. This is my favorite episode.
Perfect. Could not be better.
This episode builds up nicely to the finale with a last minute reveal that will make the wait for the last episode seem longer than it will likely be. Because I do, yeah. I mean, like, again, we build up to the, we start that final episode. We've seen the Crooked Man for the first time.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree. GameSpot giving it a 70. I left, whoever wrote this, like, this is fucking genius. I left the third episode of The Wolf Among Us with my heart in my stomach.
Third?
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
prefacing.
well, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Wait for it. I left the third episode of The Wolf Among Us with my heart in my stomach. I left the fourth with burning curiosity, which is not as striking of a feeling. But given what the other fables tell me of the Crooked Man, I suspect that it will be not just my curiosity that burns in the final chapter of this episodic tale. I want closure. I crave closure. But The Wolf Among Us has taught me that conclusions aren't always neat and tidy, and you must suffer pain before you can earn relief.
That's a poetic review.
No, this is. And I will say this is a very emblematic penultimate episode of anything. In
Yeah.
the way it really like sets shit up to go down.
Yeah,
on the
like,
last one.
yeah, where the snowball is going down the hill. And IGN with a 60. In Sheep's Clothing still features Telltale's strong writing, but ultimately my least favorite chapter of the series so far.
Shut
the
up.
lack of meaningful choices and scant story progression make episode 4 feel unimportant in the grand scheme of things. Couldn't
disagree more.
Shut the was that IGN?
Yeah.
Hey,
the hell is
IGN,
that?
fuck
I've never even-
yourself.
I've
I
never
think
even
at the end
heard
of
of that.
episode 5, I do think he's right about the meaningful choices. Your choices,
For sure, it's not.
Yeah, but they're
Don't-
never really.
Yeah, I think
I know there's some where it's
we were having that
uh,
discussion with Hogwarts Legacy of like there's no moral system in that game, and it's like, well, your choices really don't
Well,
matter.
there's a very light more like a very
yeah. So yeah.
It's okay. That's the problem. The condensation.
So what the fuck? Do you
Yeah.
have
What's the
on floor?
surprise here?
All
Now
right.
I'm all excited.
About a minute and a half, 2 minutes before we went on the air recording, I alerted the boys that I do have a surprise with me. I made a pit stop on the way here.
You've been excited.
Yeah,
You've
and
been hearing about this
I
for a
didn't- I
while.
didn't-
Been a real busy boy.
I didn't
Okay.
notice him walk in with this.
I didn't either. You really?
Oh baby!
Oh, whoa!
Look who's gonna do his research for the next
look at that.
episode.
Can I see?
Yeah, of course, the deluxe edition,
interesting.
book
Is it,
one.
Is it? I was like volume 1.
Yeah, I think it's like the first 5, maybe 10.
I've read the
issues.
first volume. Did I mention that in the beginning?
No.
I wasn't like that into it.
Yeah, I talked to Anthony Passero recently, and he said that he tried to read it back when the game came out, and he said he tried it again recently, and it doesn't hit. This probably won't be
The
that.
art's very cool in it.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I really
but
like
yeah,
the,
I'm definitely.
I do
also,
love the cover though.
Yeah,
I got
I do
another little. This is kind of off topic, unrelated.
Oh, no, it's okay. I love it. Is it Walking Dead?
No, we have Taylor Swift's "Speak Now" on CD.
We have a Swiftie.
We have a Swiftie in the
and
house.
I love it.
No,
That's
my
great.
girlfriend insisted. I showed this her as a joke.
You still have a CD player?
In my car, yeah. So we will
gotcha.
probably be listening to track 12, "Haunted." Highly recommend. Only good song on this one. I don't like the early country Taylor.
Yeah, fuck that.
Briar Rose is in this.
The important thing, right?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm gonna do
there's
my
Colin.
research for the next
There he
episode.
is.
Yeah, I was going through.
I feel like I'm reading books to like little kids.
Dude, that could be a new series. Story time with Gooch.
Oh, that's fun. Story time with Gooch.
Cool, man.
Dude, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
So I'm gonna do my research. I'll let you guys know.
So you picked that up? You bought that recently?
Yeah, it
How
was
much
at it was like $7.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, it was at a local bookstore. I don't know if you guys give away
Make sure you
locations.
get Kate to
'cause
expense that.
it is closed.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Dude, good stuff. Awesome. Well, love it. Gooch, anything else?
One more, baby.
Ooh.
Our second Re3 is coming to its conclusion with a nice 5-episode run. I hope people have enjoyed it. The way we structured this one a little bit differently.
A little bit shorter.
Again,
Just a tiny bit.
well, I'll be seeing these as they come out, not as we're recording them. So
Sure.
I hope you've been enjoying so far, and I hope
Absolutely.
you stick it out to the end.
Yeah. Good stuff. Gooch, love it. Everyone,
Thank you.
Thank you so much if you've been watching with us. You haven't been watching with us live on this one, but you can watch us live on twitch.tv/Delco Nerd Network. We're usually streaming there on Sundays or whenever. We put an announcement out. But you can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are found. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We're on all your favorite social medias as well. We have a Facebook page. We have a Discord channel. We're at Delco Nerds on basically everything. All that good stuff will be linked down below. You can email us all your comments, questions, or concerns, delconerds@gmail.com. We'd be happy to get back to you. You can even find all this information on our website, delconerdnetwork.com.
Click the CD.
Click the CD. For Gooch, for Joey, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.